I recommend cheering. Of course it is. Dragon portraits tonight? 12:30, 12:45? Okay. We're after lunch. So you went out, but I didn't. Yeah. No, because they're going to do the ceremony, and they're going to eat lunch with us. Yeah. And then after lunch, you're not, I can make everything.
I made myself ready. I'm ready for it.
Senior Chief Disco is going to lead us in a session that is going to highlight enlisted leadership lessons as we recognize our 2024 Enlisted Persons of the Year, Active Duty, and Reserve component.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As Emily said, I'm Senior Chief Petty Officer Disco, Executive Assistant to Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard. This morning we're here to recognize two incredible members for their outstanding contributions. We have Petty Officer Third Class Bennett Swanson, a machinery technician assigned to AIDS Navigation Team, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, the 2024 Enlisted Person of the Year Active Duty component, and Petty Officer Second Class Joseph Williams, a maritime enforcement specialist assigned to Port Security Unit 309 in Fort Clinton, Ohio, the 2024 Enlisted Person of the Year Reserve component. Joining us for today's ceremony are several distinguished guests. We have our Acting Vice Commandant of the Coast Guard, Vice Admiral Peter Gauthier, the 14th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Keith Jones, and our 9th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard Reserve, Will Adams. You will soon hear a brief description of the actions these individuals have taken, demonstrating exceptional leadership, critical thinking, and commitment to our Coast Guard core values that truly set the example for us all. Now, please welcome our 14th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Keith Jones.
So before we get on to this amazing celebration, I kind of want to go back to the previous one for just a second. Ms. Wanda, every time I get to hear you speak, I'll learn something new. And I did not realize that your parents married 11 days after meeting. I wish I could have met Chief Allen. It took Carol 6 months to even admit we were dating. So hats off to you, Dad. Yeah, she probably still regrets it. No, thank you so much for being here. This is our chance to get to celebrate truly the best of the best. What we're celebrating today is honestly one of the hardest jobs our command senior enlisted leaders have, which is choosing the best of the best, choosing the best active duty and reserve component member from our enlisted workforce each and every day. But it's a hard task that they love to do, and they're great at it. what you're going to hear about as we get in, we're going to read the presentation from each of these. First and foremost, you're going to hear about two extremely competent professionals of what they do every single day. They are masters of their craft. They get out there, they get after it, and they're experts in their rating. But then you're also going to hear about human beings that, that was your ring. I thought it was you. I was fixing to, yeah. I was like, Jeremy, you're fixing to get $5. You're going to hear how they go above and beyond just being masters of their rating and masters of their job. You're going to hear commitment to our Coast Guard core values in every single thing that they do. You're going to hear about service to their shipmates, going above and beyond every single day to make themselves, their shipmates, their units, everyone that's around them better. You're going to hear about commitment to their community and all the things that they do, just truly proving how they are the best of the best that are represented. Before I'm going to move on, I will be introducing Vice Commandant here in 1 second. I did want to add, in addition to this, tonight at Q3, we're going to be hosting a celebration for our enlisted persons of the year for the active duty and the reserve component and our Muslim of the year. Get there early, get there hungry, get there comfortable. Shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops are welcome. It's going to be a lot of food, and we can't wait to celebrate in a more informal manner. This is our formal celebration here. So before I introduce the Vice, my note card actually said introduce the Commandant, but obviously he got called out. And Ms. Lindley, I think you'll back me on this. He's doing right now what he has to do. He's over at the White House doing what's best for our Coast Guard, for our current and future mission state. He had a choice. I think we know where he would rather be, which is right here celebrating our Muslim year previously and our enlisted members of the year here. But with that, sir, it is my honor. Thank you for filling in once again to introduce our acting Vice Commandant and my friend, Vice Admiral Pete Gilligan. Thank you, sir.
I'm exactly where I need to be right now as well. Just as the last time we did this was down in New Orleans, and we were just where we needed to be back then too. What a great pleasure, what a great joy to be part of this extraordinary moment. And just maybe speaking for all the officers in the room, this really is a highlight annually for all of us here in the Senior Commissioned Officer Corps of the United States Coast Guard to celebrate two of our top performers, active duty and enlisted members. And as you said, best of the best. So we here in the room know just how great our enlisted workforce is. Right, folks? Remarks, you give any Coastie and any Coast Guard team the right equipment and the right training to do the job, and they will do anything for you. And I guarantee as we speak somewhere around the world, there's a Coast Guard team serving in surf, storm, or howling gale, getting the job done. That's just a testament to how great the two enlisted individuals are that we're going to recognize here in just a moment. Because of the incredible competition, the competitive nature of this particular award, selected from the entirety of the junior enlisted workforce to be here today, to be celebrated in front of all of our senior leadership team. And Dash Chief, you summed it up well. You know, when you think about how we recognize folks, usually it's because they do the job really, really well. But there's a whole lot more to that. It's not just proficiency in craft. It's not just doing what you do really well at the unit that you're assigned to. It's making the unit work really, really well. Being that individual that provides the glue, the connective tissue, that informal leader, the training necessary in order to make that unit go better than it did before. And then it's how that unit functions in the community. It's getting out and about, finding the opportunities to represent the Coast Guard well as a volunteer in that particular community. Now, when we talk about reserve, it's a little bit of a different community in this particular case, but it's a community nevertheless. So you got to be an all-around player to compete and to earn this particular award. So let me just speak for just a minute about our active duty enlisted person of the year. MK3 Bennett J. Swanson. So Henderson Swanson, during the period of recognition, a Uper sailor, right, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, started at Station St. Ignace. barely under 15. But then got PCS'd early because there was an urgent need to serve an aunt, Sault Ste. Marie. And that aunt, everybody was leaving that unit except the OIC. So Penn Swanson volunteered, was transferred up the road, up north, in order to provide some consistency and some continuity in that really important unit. And dug right in, as we say, hit the decks running, qualified in all the key elements of proficiency there, crane operations, boat operations, buoy operations, so on and so forth. Within 90 days, within record time, the full suite become an absolute super important member of that particular crew. As new people then rotated in to make sure that operations could continue unabated. So exceptional capacity and competence in mastering those qualifications. Was hand-selected as the competent person for structural climbing, rescue and trainer, and primary climbing trainer. So it wasn't just qualifying, it was qualifying everybody else once there. His supervisor said it best. Simply put, Petty Officer Swanson is a gifted engineer with unlimited potential in this organization. But then got out and about in the community as a volunteer, volunteering over 100 service hours in local schools to, again, help make that community flourish as a critical Coast Guard member in that particular year. So we'll bring Petty Swanson up on stage here in just a second. But now I want to turn to enlisted person of the year reserve component, NE2 Joseph Williams, stationed in PSU 309, Fort Clinton, Ohio. So just a moment about being a reservist. So merely to compete for this, you have to be somebody who usually has a full-time job somewhere else. You come in and you do ADT and IDT. Typically, that will be a couple of weeks a year and a weekend a month. In a PSU, that's a little bit different, right? Because you deploy. Well, in this case, NE2 Williams deployed out to Guam to serve on Embark Security Team Detachment 1. So Embark Security Team, I guess what I can say about that in this room is, this was a novel concept that was piloted by Pacific Area Command to help get the PSU members the sets and reps necessary when we shut down the operation in Gitmo. So this was the first deployment of Coasties on this Embark Security Team. Pastor Williams was part of the trailblazer that helped build this program and make it work. So the Embark Security Team, you are basically providing a force protection for sensitive operations on board particular vessels, and I'll just leave it at that go to places that are, let's say, contested, in areas that operate close to our adversaries. So it's a really important mission to have folks who really know what they're doing, professionals with top-rated proficiency. So Petterson Williams served in multiple roles, and then out, not just in his duties, but also out the scope of his duties. But what's always great is representing the Coast Guard well was the honor graduate in the Embark Security Team Combat Skill Course, outperforming all of DoD counterparts at the Navy Schoolhouse. So once again, Coast Guard #1 over our Navy counterparts. It's always good. Always good. So, and then went back after deploying back to Fort Clinton to do really important work at PSU 309. Performs at a level greatly exceeding the expectations of the second-class Navy officer. So, we all deeply appreciate the service, the sacrifice, the proficiency, going over and above to serve a unit, to make that unit function, to make that community even better than it had been, even if that's a shipboard DoD community that you serve. So back to you, Senior.
Thank you, Dr. I'd ask you to please remain on stage, and Nashi Payetzer, Coast Guard, please come back up to the stage. And Kate Buchanan, may I please ask you to join us up on stage? I'm sorry, thank you, Dr. Walker. Military members, attention to the ward. Petty Officer Swanson is cited for outstanding achievement while assigned to Coast Guard Station St. Agnes from January 2024 to June 2024, and Coast Guard Aids Navigation Team Sault Ste. Marie from June 2024 to December 2024. Demonstrating superior professionalism, leadership skills, and dedication to duty, he was selected as the 2024 Coast Guard Enlisted Person of the Year Active Duty Component. Petty Officer Swanson voluntarily transferred early in assignment year 2024 to Aunt Sault Ste. Marie due to the entire crew transferring except for the officer in charge. And within 90 days of reporting to Aunt Sault Ste. Marie, he qualified as the TAMI boat crew member, aids to navigation, boat crew, boom crane operator, and buoy deck supervisor. He directly contributed to 75 successful aids to navigation missions, including 12 ATON discrepancy responses and 2 ATON operational order changes. These qualifications bolstered operational readiness and increased connectedness as the newly formed crew delivered mission excellence during off-fall retrieve, safely removing 109 aids in advance of ice season while ensuring the integrity of the Great Lakes MTS. As a dedicated community member, Petty Officer Swanson spent more than 100 hours volunteering at local schools, coaching youth sports, and serving as president of St. Mary's Walleye Club. Petty Officer Swanson's dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions in the United States Coast Guard. The operational distinguishing device is authorized, given this 30th day of April 2025, signed Kevin E. Lunday, Army U.S. Coast Guard Acting Commandant. Military members, please remain standing for the advancement ceremony. Petty Officer Swanson will be joined by his girlfriend, Aaliyah Robertson, and his father, Chief Petty Officer Thomas Swanson, United States Coast Guard. Please join us on stage. Attention to advancement. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of third-class petty officer, I do appoint Bennett J. Swanson, a second-class machinery technician in the United States Coast Guard, to rank as such from the 30th day of April 2025. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed, by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of the lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, given under my hand at Washington, D.C., this 30th day of April in the year of our Lord 2025. Signed Keith B. Jones, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, and Kevin E. Lunday, Admiral U.S. Coast Guard, Acting Commandant. Thank you, Ms. Robertson and Chief Swanson. You may be seated. At this time, I would ask Master Chief Petty Officer Retired Clara Wells to please come up on stage and present the new SDB jacket sponsored by the Chief Petty Officer Association. Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, I would ask MEQ Joseph Williams to come up on stage. And I'd also like to ask Rear Admiral Tiffany Blanco and Master Chief Petty Officer Coast Guard Reserve Will Adams to join us. All right, military members, attention to order. Should just ask you to stand. Apologies. Citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Commendation Medal to Joseph A. Williams, Maritime Enforcement Specialist, 2nd Class, United States Coast Guard Reserve. Petty Officer Williams is cited for outstanding achievement while assigned to Coast Guard Port Security Unit 309 from January 2024 to December 2024, demonstrating superior selflessness, and professional competence and leadership. Petty Officer Williams was selected for the 2024 Coast Guard Enlisted Person of the Year Reserve Component. Petty Officer Williams volunteered for the initial Embark Security Detachment 1 Guam, assisting with the acquisition for gear for 16 members, organizing of the mission set for future PSU to follow, and graduating the Navy Expeditionary Warfare School as the honored graduate. Upon returning, he once again volunteered to fill a critical role which was vacated in the logistics department. He worked out of his rating as an approving official for over 200 travel vouchers, ordering of gear for 120 members, which included the transfer to the Army hot weather combat uniform. He expertly corrected 12 erroneous travel claims, enabling reimbursement of over $20,000. Additionally, he contributed to the Shoreside Security Division by sponsoring and mentoring 6 newly assigned members, acquiring mission essential equipment for 38 assigned personnel, and diligently supporting readiness qualification data entry. Moreover, he supported the community by assisting with laying of over 100 wreaths at veterans' grave sites, positively representing PSU 309 in the Marblehead, Ohio community. Petty Officer Williams' dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. The operational distinguishing device is authorized, given this 30th day of April 2025. Signed, Kevin E. Lunday, Admiral U.S. Coast Guard, Acting Commodore. Military members, please remain standing for the advancement ceremony. I'd like to ask Petty Officer Williams, he will be pinned today by his brother, First Lieutenant James Lawrence Williams, the United States Army, and his supervisor, Petty Officer First Class Daniel Allen Brinkley. Please join us on stage. Attention to advancement. To all who shall see these present greetings, know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of this 2nd Class Petty Officer, I do hereby appoint Joseph A. Williams, a 1st Class Maritime Enforcement Specialist in the United States Coast Guard Reserve, to rank as such from the 30th day of April 2025. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, given under my hand at Washington, D.C., this 30th day of April, in the year of our Lord, 2025, signed, William B. Adams, Master Chief Petty Officer, Coast Guard Reserve, and Kevin E. Lunday, Admiral U.S. Coast Guard, Acting Commodore. Thank you, First Lieutenant Williams and Escalon Gravely. I would ask you to please take your seats. And I would like to ask Senior Chief Casey Lawrence, please come up on stage and present the SDB jacket for the Chief Petty Officer Association. Thank you, Senior Chief Lawrence. And may I please ask MK2 Swanson if you could join us back up on stage. No, not yet? Not yet, Mr. Chief? Just one more. No, doing squats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please have one final round of applause for your 2024 Thank you very much. On behalf of the Acting Vice Commandant and Master Petty of the Coast Guard, thank you all for joining us here for this important event. We look forward to celebrating. Oh, do you have a-
I'm calling just one audible real quick, because I got to pick on some people in the room. You may see a common theme with geographically where these units are. The way that we do the enlisted person of the year voting is the district gold badges geographically run that. So you may notice a Great Lakes theme. Where's the Great Lakes theme? Great Lakes theme. So congratulations, but to not let somebody get too out of control, I do have to point out that the PSU is a pack area unit. So well in that Pacific area over here. So anyway, excellent job. The nominees were just absolutely outstanding this year. So proud of y'all. Congratulations.
One final thing I want to leave with, I know Rick mentioned it at the beginning, but we look forward to celebrating our enlisted persons of the year and our ombudsman of the year tonight at Q3. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. You may be seated.